Mm. Check hivyo your lighting. Hi guys, karibuni sana. It's another Friday. It's another Friday. Another episode of Real Talk. And yeah, karibuni sana. How have you been? How have your week been? Mmekuwa aje? I had a good week. Nilikuwa na wiki poa by the way. Sijui kwa nini naongea hivyo. And like the title suggests, today we're going to be talking about, well, I'll be answering some of your questions that you sent. So I asked you to ask me questions that you will want us to talk about today. So I'll be answering some of the questions, and most of these questions revolve around intimacy, finances, career women, boundaries, basically relationships, and of course the most famous topic, and I don't know why, because I'm not a sex therapist, but there was a lot of questions on sex and how to handle it in marriage and in relationships, how to talk about it with your partner. And yeah, so karibuni sana. I can see Weni, it's Weni, right? Yeah, I can see Weni is already here. Hi Weni, how are you doing? Yeah, unaendelea aje? Thank you for joining. Karibu sana. Joe Wairegi, karibu sana. Mwandishi hodari amejiwakilisha. Please make sure you share this with your friends and people you would want to join us. You know, people who will be interested in such kind of, such kind of talks. So karibuni sana this evening. Karibuni sana. Yeah. So I hope you can see me now. Can you see me fully? Niko sawa sasa? Wait, my camera person. Okay, thank you. Hi, so karibuni sana. Please make sure to share this, invite as many people as you can, because this is a sensitive topic, and yeah, I'll be answering some of your questions. So tafadhali, if you ask me a question, make sure to be here for the answer. And yeah, so how have your week been? Let's start there. Sitaki kukua insensitive. I don't want to be the kind who will just be here talking, and I really want to know how you have been. It's a rough time. It's not a normal time. There is this corona thing going on, na ni kama inapanda, like the number is increasing every day. So I would really want to know how you're doing. How are you feeling about the whole issue? How are you coping? Please talk to me. Karibuni sana. I can see Martin. Hi Martin, karibu sana. Hi Ritho, karibu sana. I'm so glad that you're here. And yeah, so please tell me how you've been. Is the show rated plus 16? Ritho, okay, maybe not, so I'm not sure. Okay, let me adjust this for a minute and then I'll let you. I think I'm half screen. Am I okay now? Please somebody tell me that I'm okay. Ritho, we are not actually plus 16, but given the time people are starting to date now, I think we are plus 16. Sawa, karibu sana. We'll talk about sensitive issues, especially sex, and talking about it and how to do it with your partner. Karibu sana, Engineer Jimmy. Karibu sana. Somebody says ehen tuko hapa. Karibu sana. I can't read Arabic, but I hope you can see me. And Tess, how are you doing? Roslyn says she's watching. Naitwa Max. Karibu sana Max. This is going to be an interesting topic and an interesting live. I hope you enjoy. Tafadhali, please tell me if you can see me clearly. Yes, sitaki kuongea alafu hamnioni na hatuonani. How have your week been? I just want to spend the first 2-3 minutes hearing how you've been. Wacha kusema sawa, sitasema tena. Max. Hi Johnson, how are you doing? Luke, karibu sana. Kate, karibu sana. I want us to get to at least 10 and we're already at 10. So how have you been? How are you doing? How are you doing? So today I just have water. Sina mambo mingi, maji tu peke yake, and some fruits over here. I'm eating grapes as we converse. I hope that won't be a distraction to anyone. Hi, blessed girl, karibu sana. I'm so glad you're here. Martin says niko nusu. What is going on? My camera or me? Me. Okay. We okay now? We okay now? Martin, tuko sawa sasa? I hope so. Thank you. Dan Kimsa says, why are you talking about sex? Change the topic. Okay, Kimsa, please ask a question of something you would want me to talk about. I'm not talking about sex by choice. I'm just answering questions people sent. And I promised to do a Q&A, so najibu tu maswali. It is not me who choose the topics. Okay, I choose the topics normally, but this week I did not choose the topics. I asked people to ask questions and that came up, so I have to answer it, okay? Tess, we can see you and hear you clearly. Deliver, we're waiting. Thank you so much, Tess. I'll make sure I deliver to you. Collins, how are you? How are you doing? Dixon, nakuona sana, karibu sana. Hi, Alice. Hi, back to you, Jimmy. I'm good this evening. So, can I just get started because people don't want to tell me how they have been? Mmekuaje? I'm serious. I honestly want to know how you've been, okay? And as we wait for those answers, I'll start with the first question. Na sijui kama mwenye hata aliuliza ako area. I have them. Okay? So msiseme hapa ati ni mimi mwenyewe. Nilijiuliza maswali. And because somebody is not comfortable hearing about sex, I won't start with sex today. So can we talk about what? Boundaries. Somebody asked, should couples have boundaries once they start dating, and how do you communicate to your spouse about these boundaries? Okay, that was kind of hard to actually even understand, and I won't be calling out names of the people who asked, okay? And this is because I want them to remain anonymous, and so that next time they can be free to ask anything. So boundaries, well, I don't know. I do not know in what context the person asked about boundaries, but I'll talk about it in a broad spectrum. Like I'll be talking about it in terms of people who are dating, people who are married, and yeah, people who are about to get married, okay? So should people have boundaries once they get into a relationship? Definitely, of course you should, because, well, you're two different people from two different backgrounds coming together to try and make something work. And I feel like everybody has an opinion of things that doesn't necessarily rhyme with what their partner's opinion is, okay? And given these differences, then it's only okay that one person might not be comfortable, or one person might not be okay with what another person maybe believes, or somebody else's values, and it's okay because, well, we're different. And you only meet after like 25 years of your life, and you have to learn things and unlearn things and then learn new things. And through this whole process, you have to know your boundaries as a person. So I'll be talking about 12 kinds of boundaries. I hope there are not many. I won't go into details about them. I'll just say the kind of boundaries that you should be aware of and you should communicate to your spouse about. Okay? And I am not a psychologist, okay? I'm not a therapist. I just do my research well. And when you ask a question, I try to get the best answer as possible, and the answer that is universal, an answer that can help everyone, even those who didn't ask the question, okay? Yeah, so first boundary is the overall expectations boundaries, okay? So once you start dating, or the moment you decide to get into a relationship with someone, you obviously have expectations, okay? You know what you want from that relationship. You know what you expect your partner to be like, and they also have the same. So at the very beginning of any relationship, I feel like it's necessary for you to bring to the table the expectations from both sides, okay? And if the expectations of the other person in one way or another undermines or goes against your values or goes against your boundaries, then that's the point when you should address them. before you start resenting someone or you start feeling like you're in the wrong place because your expectations are not being met, or the expectations of your spouse are making you feel like you're being controlled. Okay, so the reason we need to set boundaries is for you to feel that sense of independence even within a relationship, because sometimes you get in relationships and you get lost in the whole concept of relating. And yeah, so make sure your expectations of the relationships are known. That's the first boundary you set. Okay, yes. So I think this is Max. Max says, let's talk about how to handle breakups. Okay, I'll try to talk about that too. Hi Jay, how are you doing? You say you've been cool despite the fact that uko na homa. So sorry. Maji ya ndimu, ginger, garlic inasaidia sana. Okay. Hi Frank, how are you doing? How Mitch, karibu sana. Julius, sasa poa sana. Niko poa kabisa this evening. I'm so glad you're here. Jimmy says he's super fine. I'm so glad that you're super fine this evening. Somebody else already told Max to take lemon. That's so nice. Salim, hi, karibu sana. Joe says hello too. And yeah, so can we go on? Yeah, I want to take these boundaries very fast because I have at least 6 questions that I would want to address today. And I hope this doesn't get boring. So please let me know if you would want, if you think it's important to have boundaries in marriage, and if these boundaries in any way affect the intimacy and the affection and the whole concept of the relationship. So feel free to say what you think about boundaries in a relationship, okay? In the comment section. Let this be a conversation as usual. I hate being the only one who's talking in the house, so I'll want you to talk to me, okay? Thank you. Okay. So our second one is tolerance. Tolerance. And tolerance is kind of wide because it entails what you as an individual can take within a relationship. And I feel like it's important at the beginning for you to tell your spouse, or if it's not even at the beginning now, it's important that you talk to them about how much you can take, what you can tolerate in the relationship, what pisses you off, what ticks you off. Be open, have open conversations about how much you can take. For example, tell them, I don't think if you cheat on me, I can forgive you. That's how much I can't take, okay? Tell them how much pain you can take, either emotionally or physically, okay? Yes. I want to go very fast because there are so many. And yeah, hi Shiko, karibu sana. Leo nimesema I'll be answering questions that you have asked, and I'll be talking about all the topics in general regardless. So if you didn't ask me a question on my inbox, tafadhali just ask the question here and then we will move on swiftly. For now, I'm talking about the boundaries you should set in your relationships. Sawa, already we talked about the overall expectations, we've talked about the tolerance level, and then we're talking about sexual expressions and expectations. It's important to set your boundaries in terms of sexual expression. And this is because I feel like nowadays we're living in such an open society, such a open-minded society that everyone is willing to accept everything. But then I feel like some of us are conventional, and the conventionalism might come in the sexual context, okay? So please be very straightforward about what you believe about sex. How far can you go? What's your limit of pleasure, okay? If you're into BDSM, how much is too much? How little is too little? Would you want it slow and sensual? Would you want it rough? And, you know, be open about it. Talk about how far is too far in terms of your sexual expressions. Okay, so yeah, please keep bringing in the questions. Keep telling me how your week was as we interact and move on to the fourth boundary, which is our financial boundaries. And this, I feel like, is a very sensitive topic. And I keep saying it's a sensitive topic because finances are the leading cause of breakups. because it's 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 money, you know. So set your financial boundaries. Let your partner know, I don't need you to ask how much I'm making, or my money is my money, our money is our money, this is how we should spend our money, you know. Be clear about what you want your partner to take part in. Do you want separate accounts? Do you want joint accounts? If you have separate accounts, how do you pay for the bills? How do you save up? How do you invest? Be open about your finances as a couple. Be open about your finances as individuals, and set your boundaries. If I'm going to be spending money on my hair this month, is it going to come from my pocket? Is it my husband who is supposed to pay for me? Is it my boyfriend who is supposed to pay for our dates? Be open about the financial situation. In case the husband loses a job, what happens then? In case there's a time when I'm earning more than you, then what happens then, you know? Be open about all the subjects surrounding money, because down the line, I feel like that is usually the worst kind of fights people have. Money, okay? Yeah, so I can see Nduta Karaoke ameingia, karibu sana. Robert, karibu sana. And yeah, can we continue? Somebody told me to stop saying okay, I won't say it again, Max. So fifth kind of boundaries, I feel like you should set boundaries on your past lives. What are you comfortable sharing with your spouse about your past life? Are you okay talking to each other about your exes? Are you okay about talking about your past experiences with them? How open are you? You should actually remember that communication is key. Communication ni ya maana sana. It is very important to communicate in a relationship. But a relationship is not a therapy session. It's not, your partner is not a therapist, okay? So if you had past traumas, you have to first determine how much is too much to share. Because trust me, there are things, in as much as I would listen as a partner, there are things, if my partner told me about, they will either make me maybe insecure, or they will make me look them in a different light, or maybe pity them, or maybe there are certain things that you should look at before you actually decide to open up about your past lives. Don't tell your partner how good your ex was. Don't tell your partner how well physically she was. There are things you should look at, okay? Set your boundaries. How much about their past life are you ready to listen to? How much about your past life do you want to share? And both parties should be very comfortable about that aspect. If I don't want to share, I don't want to share. Doesn't mean there's anything to hide. Okay, if I want to share it, you be ready to accept it and to actually give me the feedback I expect. Because that's another issue. I tell you about how I was molested, maybe, God forbid, I'm just giving an example, and your reaction is like, oh, hey, as if I told you how my phone was snatched. It's, you know, it's different, the reactions. And if you're not there yet, or if you don't know what is expected of you, it's really hard for people to open up about their past lives, okay? Yeah. Rehab, karibu sana. Matthew Kibet says, have you ever broke your relationship because of money? It starts with experience and lesson learned for shared knowledge. Okay, Matthew, have I ever broken up because of money? No. Have we fought because of money? Yeah, a lot. Before you establish common ground, and let me just combine this with a question somebody asked about housewives. Somebody asked, how should husbands take on the fact that some wives decide to leave their work after having the child, and how should they take the financial responsibility, the respect, and the help? Let me tell you something about, I'm talking about that issue of housewife because money is a great issue when it comes to housewives. Because you don't know how I will call myself a housewife. Maybe I can call myself that because I don't have a job currently where I go to every day. So my husband is the sole breadwinner of the family. Okay, so every month I have my own expenses. There's the household's expenses. There is bills to be paid. There's the child's school fees. There is so many other things to be done, and there's savings and investments. Okay, So for the longest time, once I got married, I couldn't know for sure how to ask for money. Because, well, I felt like I didn't have the right to that money. It's not me who's making the money. You get? So the main reason why we could fight about the money is because I feel like I don't have to ask him for the money, okay? And he feels like he has already provided everything. What else could I be needing? But then there are other needs beyond that. And since I couldn't communicate at that point, we used to have a lot of fights until the point we decided, can we just sit and talk about this? As a housewife, how am I supposed to be financially secure? Because we obviously have our own needs. We definitely have needs beyond food, clothes, and, we need other things. And if you cannot communicate that financially, itakuwa inaka either you're nagging, okay, itakuwa inaka nika unamsumbua, ama unamdictate pesa yake, ama it will leave him feeling like, si ungetoka hata wewe uende utafute pesa, you get? Yeah, so talking of experience, yes, I have experienced issues in a relationship because of money. And I learned the lessons, but you should talk about the finances beforehand. The only reason maybe my husband could not talk to me about money is because initially I never used to show interest. I never used to care about how much he's making or how much, because at that point it didn't bother me. But once we got married, then I was interested, because all of a sudden, I'm his responsibility. See, so the lessons I learned is that you should show interest as the wife if you're not the breadwinner, or if the husband is not the breadwinner, then show interest on your finances. Take responsibility according to your abilities. Kama wewe ni mse kusave, okay? Discuss with your husband. He earns the money but he's not a good saver. Discuss. I save better than you. Can we work around it in a way that I'm the one who's saving? I'm good at doing maths. Can I be the one paying the bills and then you're good at finding our investments? Wewe ndo mzuri wa kutafuta mashamba huko, si? Can you handle that when I handle the paying bills? Be open about it, okay? So Kibet, there's my experience. I hope it helps you. And yeah, I don't just talk here. I give personal experiences to help somebody out there. Hi Francis, how are you doing? Kirui Cosmos, relationship is just about love. The past is a forgotten thing. It doesn't matter. Money is never everything. That's a good point, Kirui. Yeah, the past is a forgotten thing. Doesn't mean it doesn't affect our futures. It does, unless you learn to forget. And forgetting is the hardest part about the past. Okay, money is not everything, but it really plays a huge role. Okay, because right now, let me ask, just be honest and just tell us, would you rather marry a career woman or a housewife? Just be open, talk about it. Tell me. Hi James, how are you doing? Karibu sana. Julius, karibu sana. Lynn, umeingia, karibu sana. Hi Ray. Hi Julius, Favor, karibu sana. Grace Akinyi is here. So the guys in the house, how would you love your wife to be? Will you want a career woman or would you want a housewife? And be honest, because that is a very sensitive topic. And for the housewives, do you feel like your husband owe you a stipend? How do you work around your money? How do you work around your finances? And for the career women, do you feel like your money should be your money? Ama your money is, you earn your money, your husband earns their money, and then they bring to the table and then you decide. What do you feel about that? What do you feel about joint accounts? What do you feel about having separate accounts? And how do you handle it? Please share your experiences, since Kibet said experience is the best teacher. So please share with us. And yeah, like I said, today I'll be answering your questions softly and smoothly as we move along. And if you didn't ask me any question, please make sure to ask down below and we can move on. Third, the sixth boundaries that you should set is your family. And I say family because mostly people think of family as the in-laws, the husband's side of the family, like they are the only family that matters in a relationship. But in all honesty, in all reality, family matters. Once you get into a relationship, you're not getting in a relationship between you and a husband It's usually like you, your siblings, your parents, and him, his siblings and his parents. And this, unless you talk about it, it can bring a lot of issues. And especially if you live close to each other. Yeah. I feel like this is the part where you say, you know what? You got married to me, but that doesn't mean I'm not comfortable with your relatives living with us, okay? Or I'm not comfortable with you talking to your mother every day. You know how us wives are, like every evening you want to give a report to your mother about how your day was and what happened, what didn't go wrong, what he did. Oh, we are always there. And it's easier now because the internet is there and the phone is there. I feel like it's important for you to set boundaries on how much involvement your family should have in your relationship. How often do you want your mother-in-law to visit you? And how long does she have to stay in your house if she visits? These are some of the things you're supposed to talk about. And I'm being sincere and honest because among the 4 things that cause a lot of marriage breakups is in-laws. The first one is usually finances. I won't lie. Finances, intimacy, in-laws, and family planning. I'm not saying this as an expert. I'm just saying what my premarital counselor said. Alisema hizo vitu nne, if you don't talk about them, they're gonna come and mess you up along the way. So talk about your family, talk about the boundaries. How often do you want your brother-in-laws to visit, your sister-in-laws to visit? How often should your family visit as the wife? And so on and so forth. Hi Sam, karibu sana. Mutahi, karibu sana. And Mutahi is walking. I think he's walking. Okay, I'm sorry that I started with a not so interesting question, but I really need to answer the person who asked it, and I hope the next one will be much more interesting. Okay? Yeah, friendships, boundaries. Once you get into a relationship, I feel like everybody had their friends before. Like I had my friends before I came into this marriage. He had his friends before he came into this marriage. And then once you get there is a confusion of which friends should I keep? Which ones should I cut off? And this is a huge issue, especially if you're the kind who was used to going out. And this affects most of the guys. Trust me, the first year of a relationship or a marriage or a serious relationship that is leading to marriage is spent trying to change the company of your spouse. I don't know why, I don't know how, but you feel like kama nani anakunywanga hivyo ama kama nani ile story unaniambianga yake si pia wewe uko hivyo. There's this tendency to judge your spouse according to the people or the circle of friends they keep, and there's this urge deep down somewhere where you feel like you have to change the friends around them so that they can be with the right company or the people you perceive as the right company. Kama walikuwa wamezoea kwenda na maboys kukunywa, unataka abadilike akuwe family man, amekuwa husband sasa. So there's that tendency of trying to change your friends, but I feel like you should have boundaries where you're like, you know what babe, so and so tumetoka mbali, no matter what, these friends I'm keeping. Maybe you don't like them, but they are my friends. They don't have to be your friends, okay? You don't have to merge all your friends to make them friends, because it's okay for you not to like all your husband's friends. It's okay for you not to like all your wife's friends, and that just means you're mature enough to accept that it's not always right to have them all together, okay? So friendship boundary is another boundary you should set. And I feel like I can see Kiru is saying, nowadays housewife is a burden. Wow, okay. So I want somebody who will bring something little at the end of the day. Wife and husband should be assisting each other and not husband who is a breadwinner. I respect that. I respect that 100% because it's your opinion. But then what happens in the incident where your wife gets kids and she decides, instead of going back to work, let me just look after the kids? Because it happens. It happens, and we feel like we're doing a good thing by bringing up the kids instead of taking them to baby cares or having house helps. And yeah. So is she a burden because now you become the sole breadwinner, or why exactly does she become a burden? And if by any chance she decided to stay home, will you allow her to have a say in the finances, even if you're the one who is making all the money? All right. Hi Dot, karibu sana. Umesema umefika, karibu sana. I'm so glad you're here. We have really interesting questions coming up. This is just the first one, so you haven't missed a lot. Rachel says, Marivin Kola, come watch this. Okay. Mkaribisha sana. Invite. Please make sure you invite as many people as possible. We will be dealing with a lot more questions. And yeah, so Matthew says, thanks for the answer. I'm contented. Marrying a career woman or a housewife, it depends on a number of factors. Okay. So factor number one, you say, is why did you get married? The second one is what is expected of that marriage. Okay. Do you have objectivity in your marriage? And the above forms the basis of who to marry, either a career woman or a housewife perception. I really love that. Kibet. So before you decide whether you're marrying a career woman or a housewife, ask yourself the 3 questions. I feel like that is really fundamental and important. Why are you marrying? What do you expect from that marriage? And are you mature enough to be objective in that marriage? Asante sana Matthew. I like your way of seeing things. Gishuru, karibu sana. Mutahi. Okay, you're replying to Ritho. You're saying 5 years experience. Alete hapa. Okay. You mean mkanda ukioa akuna? No, Vincent, hi. Today I'm not talking about mpango wa kando, so please bear with me. I'll be just answering the questions that people have asked and give a little bit of experiences and advice here and there, okay? Nasra, karibu sana. Mother Joseph, karibu sana. Davis, karibu sana. So, I really just want to be done with the boundaries so that I can move on to another question, and bear with me if I'm moving fast, okay? Yeah. Boundary number 8. We are in number 8. So goals. I feel like it's clear that you should have boundaries on your goals as an individual and your goals as a couple. Make sure at the very beginning, or at this point that you decided to change your status quo, that your goals are clear out there. If you want to pursue your career after marriage, let it be known. If you want your wife to stay home after having kids, let it be known before you actually get her pregnant. If you aspire to be a politician, if you aspire to be a religious leader, if you aspire to start a church in future, let these things be put out there before you commit to each other. Let your goals be known. Be ready to support each other. Ndo mtu ajuange. Kama mimi siwezi kuwa bibi ya pastor, naona tutakuwa na kashida, okay? And you have a chance to actually make a decision before you get in there, and then you are like, oh, babe, well, I didn't want to be a politician's wife, or I didn't want to get into the political arena. It is something that you could have avoided if only you can talk about your goals and know how much you can take. All right. Next, we can talk about additions in your relationship. How much are you willing to bring into the relationships afterwards? Are you ready to have children? Should you have pets? These are things that I feel like you should discuss beforehand. Any additions, family planning. Isiifika mahali. By the way, there's this tendency. I'm sorry, guys, and I hope this doesn't happen to the people in this talk, because there are these guys who you get the first kid, you agreed in the relationship, you get the first kid, and then you get the second kid, and then you're like, we're done. But you don't actually even tell your wife you're done, okay? So she decides, or by accident, she gets a third kid, and you're there like, huyo utalea. You get me? You feel me? These things happen. Talk about them before. What happens in case of an additional thing that you did not expect? If you agreed you don't need more than 2 children and then it happens, what then? Anticipate such things. Okay? Boundary number 10, subtractions. What happens in the event that you feel like you're no longer comfortable in that relationship? And I'm not just talking about marriage, I'm talking about every relationship. what happens then? Do you divorce? Do you stay together but you're separated? Do you stay together for the kids? What happens in case of a misunderstanding? What happens in case of something that is unforgivable? Talk about those boundaries. Okay, I can only take this much. Once it gets to this point, I'm going. That is an honest relationship, conversation that everyone should have. And I will do the last two very fast in terms of time and digital presence. And these two, I'll combine them because they come in handy and they kind of work together. Be open about the time you're willing to spend with your spouse. Be open about your availability in that relationship. Okay? If your work requires you to be at work overnight, talk about it before you start coming home at 12 and you start fighting over the fact that she expected you home at 9. Be open about the time factor. Be open about kuwa Friday mimi sifikangi nyumbani mapema. As a man, I feel like Friday nafaa kuenda out na my boys. Sawa? So kama unataka Friday ikuwe movie night, move it to Thursday or Saturday. Ju Friday ni yangu. Be open about that kind. Okay? Digital presence. Mimi babe, you're my wife. Stakangi ukipost picha kama umevalia bikini. You know, be honest about these things. And we're done with question 1. Hi Gracie, karibu sana. Hi Monica, how are you doing? That conversation of Ritho, I will not follow it up. Gracie says, how am I loving this topic? And I'm single. I don't know, Gracie, how you're loving it. But boundaries is not just for those in relationships. I feel like once you know it now, you will be sure to let your partner, because I believe you'll find love. At some point, Gracie, you're beautiful, you will find love. And it's important that those boundaries come in before. Let them know. Sawa, just waambie. Akijua atadeal, atadeal. Asipoweza kudeal, ataenda. That is how it should work. And one thing about boundaries, if you're not comfortable talking to your spouse about your boundaries, then that is not the right person. They should be ready to hear, okay? Eric, karibu sana. How are you doing? Hi, Lynette, karibu sana. Shirothiongo is here. Karibu sana. So, question number 1 was about boundaries. Should you have boundaries in a relationship? And if so, what kind and how should you communicate about? I feel like I have tackled that in the best way I can. And on to question number 2. I hope Max, I am sorry because I have to talk about sex. Really, I am so sorry because the second question is on sex. And I won't name the persons who asked these questions. Ziko hapa. So the person who asked alisema, who should initiate sex in a relationship? And what does it mean if only one person does the asking? Ha! Woo! Wow. Honestly, I don't know. Okay, I do know. Nigeria. Who should initiate sex? Let me leave this one to you guys. Who should initiate sex in a relationship or in a marriage? Nani anafaa kuwa anasema, hey, we, nadai, nataka. Question. Tafadhali, don't say this came from my head, okay? This is somebody who actually asked, who should initiate sex in a relationship? And I'm so proud of myself for being able to say sex so many times. It's hard. It's hard to be talking to all these guys just mentioning such words at night. Hi, Ann, karibu sana. So, yeah. What do you think? Sioni kama nafaa kujibu hiyo swali kwanza. See, I wait for your replies first. I think I should wait for your replies. I wait. If you want to reply, tafadhali, I'm giving you 2 seconds to reply and then we move on to the next question. Okay? Yes. Anybody? Nani anafaa kuuliza mwingine? Nani? Hi, Ogato, karibu sana. Na utujibu hiyo juu umeingia. Who should be asking? Nani anafaa kuuliza mwingine? Did I skip? Yeah, sorry. I skipped a comment. I'm sorry, Kate Joy. Please let me go back to that one. I don't have an issue having a saving joint account, but I should have my money. Like, I need to go out and can't keep requesting for some. Okay, thank you, Kate, for your honest opinion. I also agree with you. If you're saving money together, then it's okay to have a joint account, but then that doesn't mean you shouldn't have separate accounts to cater for your personal needs. And kama unataka kutumia madhe pesa kwa ucha, you don't even have to keep asking for that money. Aki serious. Uchosha. And then it's like they do this hesabu for you, or even you do hesabu for them. Ati babe ulitumia madhe 5k last week, na bado ulimtumia zingine last week, but one, it becomes some. Yes, you should be open about it, but then have money that you, in case of an emergency, you don't have to wait for them to come and sign or something. So thank you, Kate. I'm sorry I had just gone through that. Mwandishi Hodari says should be a two-way thing. What? Oh, you're answering our that is funny because he's seated right here. Okay. So asking or initiating sex is a two-way thing. So he thinks that you should ask and your husband should. Omola says hallelujah, hallelujah. I also feel like I should say hallelujah at that point. Well, Mutahi never been married. Okay. Somebody. Hi Cecilia, karibu sana. Jeremiah says both people should ask about sex. Okay. And how should you do it? I'm sorry to ask that, but okay. Men should. Salim says men should. Okay. Men should ask for sex. Matthew says that's the responsibility for both. Okay. Grace says nijibu my part. Where Grace hebu kwanza jibu yako. Okay, I know you're single, lakini if you're in a relationship, ungetaka kuombwa ama kuombana? Kuomba ama kuombana? Hi Faith, karibu sana. Thank you for joining us. Grace says I have no reply on this one. It's a hard one, right? Pia mimi sitaki kukua kwa hiyo nini. Ngoja kwanza tusikize. Ritho says both should initiate mwenye ako na njaa. Exactly. It's the hungry person who should do the serving and the asking for food. Okay? I feel like that. I agree with you. Martin Oiregi says he's watching. Karibu sana. Ladies should initiate sex. Okay, that's okay. Don't take it personally. It's not like I'm the only I'm saying it's men. I'm just surprised that guys think ladies should ask. Faith says hi darling, both. Thank you so much, Faith. Hi back to you. Okay, both should ask. Rachel saying boundaries in marriage. Okay. Robinson says mwenye ako na njaa ndo anafaa kuuliza. Omola says it depends. Whoever feels hungry for the other should ask. Cecilia says I have to save my own money for a rainy day. Okay. Yeah, I think you're referring to the joint account. Martin says ladies first always. Why do you think ladies should ask, Martin? I'm just curious. Because normally, or if anything, I feel like mostly, or the expected norm is that the guy is the one who asks. Okay. Hi Sarah, karibu sana. Okay. So acha tufanye opinion poll. Opinion poll says both once, both twice, both thrice. And then ladies once, man once. Ladies once, both. So I think Big Boy Homie says, I think it's two-sided. Mwenye anadai, anaomba. Na kama ile siku anaomba, sina saik. Ama kama ile siku mimi nataka, amechoka. What happens then? What happens? Nini nafanyika sasa kwa hiyo time? Because obviously si kila siku ati ukisema nipe iko. Okay, yes iko, but what of the other factors? Ama ile siku nadai nimeshinda nikifua na mwana mgongo ama na mwana kichwa. What happens? Mi Agi mwenye aliniuliza swali, Agi, you're putting me in a position that I really dread being. So Matthew says, ati mwenye ako na njaa. What if I don't have the feelings? Feelings and willingness. What if I don't have the feelings and willingness? What happens at that point? theoretically hata nianza kusema hivyo, theoretically it should be a two-way thing, right? Inafaa kuwa ile siku na feel niko your point, then nafaa kuomba theoretically. But practically, there are days that I feel I'm there, but then the other person is not there. And you can't blame them because maybe sometimes the reasons are legit. Yeah? They're stressed at work, so they're not in the mood for that. Or I'm tired, like I said, and I'm not in the mood for that. Then what? How do you even start that conversation? How do you even talk to them about it? Ati Shiko says, haha, I just copied somewhere. Oh, ni uliuliza hiyo swali, ni vizuri watu wanakuona. Because it's a really hard question to answer. But in all honesty, I feel like sex, I don't want this to be just another, talk. I like my talks to be productive and for me to give solutions, okay? And tafadhali, guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I know this is not the right time to interrupt. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, tafadhali just do so, and then I'll appreciate, and we'll keep having these talks, okay? Yeah. So Shiko kuja hapa, I have your answer for you. I feel like ideally you should both be in a position to ask for. Oh, ngoja, no, hold up. Let me hold that thought. Shiko says, tuweke timetable, cause if you wait for me, itakuwa once a month. That's harsh. That's a long time. That could work. How do you feel about having a schedule for sex? I feel like this should have been a spontaneous thing, something that, just happens and not planned for. If you plan for it, it builds this air of obligation, this air of I must be doing it, and anxiety si mzuri kwa hii maneno, okay? Omolo says, hapo you need a bowl of wisdom. Maybe try study the environment, okay? Bring home food that triggers the feeling. Na hii mambo ni kusomana tu. Thank you, Omolo. That's a whole lot of wisdom right there. Create an environment that will make your partner respond in the way you expect them to, or want you back. If you're the one who wants, put that extra effort to ask for it, okay? Bring home food that triggers the feelings. Like what? Watermelons, chocolates, njugu, seeds, pumpkin seeds. Nini hizi zingine watu hukula huku nje. And hii mambo ni kusomana tu. I totally agree with you. It is also important. Initially, at every beginning of a relationship, these things are spontaneous. These things are like, you just get into the bedroom and it just happens. You don't even have to think of it. It just comes. But then you progress into a relationship or into a marriage, and this thing becomes a bait. It becomes a bargaining chip. It becomes a reward. Hey babe, ulinibaya hii present, shika. Unapeana vitu. Hey babe, ulifanya nini? Shika. It becomes it becomes like a weapon. And at this point, I feel like it's where you're supposed to sit down with your spouse and have a talk about it before you actually start resenting them and looking for option B's and plan B's. Okay? Zachary says, you either can ask when you feel you want it, ask for it, and it doesn't have to be direct. Well, you can ask by word of mouth, or like ask by word of mouth. There are some moves you make and your spouse will know that you want sex. Really? Like sign language? Really? Okay. Otherwise, you can't read your spouse's moves, then if you can't read your spouse's moves, then you're in the wrong relationship. Wow. That's deep. Nikuulize. God. Okay. So you feel like they should know when you want it. Like you can just do something, like I can do like, and my hubby knows I automatically want it. I feel like sometimes it takes more than that. And especially if you have been with someone for some time, I feel like it takes more than just gestures and feelings. And no matter how well you touch her, if she wasn't in the mood at some point, maybe she doesn't want to at the end of the day. But I agree, you don't have to use words all the time. And my honest answer, I feel like at this point I can give my answer, is I feel like both of us should equally ask for sex. Okay, and as we all know, it's not all of us who have the same amount of want or needs. They don't sync just because you're in a relationship with someone. They don't automatically match. Ati kama Monday ndo ile siku nasikia, then all of us have to feel it or want it on Monday. Okay, so I feel like it's important to first have a clear conversation of how often you deem it right to have it. I feel like the forethought of knowing naeza taka mara ngapi kwa wiki is important before you start telling them hata hunipeangi, na pengine in their mind they feel like I do it. You know, have an honest conversation of the frequency, of the quality. What do you deem as good sex? Okay, do you want it rough? Do you want it slow? Do you want it smooth? What kind of mood do you want? Do you want it with candles and lights on? Do you want it BDSM, tied up and gagged up and like I feel like you need to have these honest conversations, and I'll only give you 4 tips on how to have these honest conversations without hurting each other's feelings, which is why I always come here every Friday, so that I can just talk about things that I feel are helpful. And I don't do this because I'm an expert. I keep repeating this. I don't do this because I'm an expert. I do this because once you ask me something or I'm curious about something, I do my research and I only pick what I think is workable. Okay? Yeah, so together the 4 tips on how to talk about intimacy, how to talk about sex, how to ask for it without hurting each other's feelings or without blaming each other and feeling accused. Okay? Salim says, most ladies hata wakitaka kuna time they hold themselves. Really? I don't think so. Okay, so if you wait for a lady to ask, unaweza kufa njaa. Really, Salim, you feel like we have that much tolerance? I feel like we are the ones who actually even don't have. A lady will actually catch feelings for you. A lady will catch feelings for you. Atakujamia. Just because you haven't. Kwanza that time of the month. Me ladies in the house tafadhali. Ebu tell me whether it is a real thing ama saa zingine sisi tunajipeanga to excuse. You know, during that peak season when your hormones are there, that time when you're ovulating and your body is asking and asking, and then they don't seem to be in the mood for it, or they aren't reading the signs right. Nani anajamingi? Because I feel like it really puts us in a bad place and we're in this bad mood. And this brings me to ushaikuwa kwa stage. No offense to any conductor in the house or any person in the matatu industry. Have you ever been on the stage and a lady is anabishana na conductors, and then you hear a conductor tell them, wenda ukapewe ndo utulie. Like mood, a woman's mood is directly related to them being given. So Salim, sidhani kama tunataka and we will take it if we have to. I don't unless the other ladies in the house disagree, but I feel like we don't have that much patience as men think that we do. Okay? Vincent says, sijaoa, but you start with funny playing in the house. What? You start with funny playing? Oh, you start playing in the house. Na kama mko na watoto, kama kuna hiyo space ya kucheza, how do you do that? So Shiko says, I support Zach, bro, that's true. Zach, about asking by word of mouth and actions. Sometimes I feel like you need to say it. Sometimes I think you need to say it. Seriously, I don't disagree that you can use gestures, that you can use expressions, you know, how you touch them, how you smile at them. The seduction should be there. Okay? And it goes both ways. It goes, kuja pale kitchen nikipika sukuma. Have you seen that meme going around? Like, a couple is cooking skuma in the kitchen and then people are like, "Ay Kenyans, hiyo ni skuma mnafanyia hivyo na mkipata nyawa." And so like so funny because I feel like it is not even about the cooking. It's not even about the meat. It's not about the skuma. It's just the gesture. You know, ako hapo nyuma yako ukiosha vyombo, and seduction goes both ways. Okay? And in as much as it works to communicate, sometimes we can misread it to, "Hai, unanipenda bado." It doesn't necessarily mean nakutaka. Sometimes it's just a reassurance. Unless maybe there are ways people do it that maybe I don't know. But I feel like some of these gestures we can just mistake for reassurance as opposed to "I want you." Please correct me if I'm wrong. Madhi says, "Being a teacher, you must have once been a student and excelled. Don't deny." I'm not denying and I'm not accepting anything. I'm just here to have a conversation. So, number 1 of talking about sex with your spouse or intimacy. Acha niache kutumia jina sex sana. Let me say intimacy, okay? So, how do you let your partner know that the intimacy in your relationship is dying or fading? Okay. Tip number one, do not surprise your spouse. I'm sorry, I had to check that one. So, don't surprise your spouse about the sex talk. The only way you can't surprise them is by letting them know beforehand. "Hey babe, are you free on Saturday? Can I take you out for coffee? I need us to talk about something." I need us to talk about toa. Don't wait until you go to the bedroom. Don't wait until unaona ile siku uko haye unangoja kupewa alafu hiyo siku ndo unaenda, "We babe, na mbona siku hizi unipeagi?" That's the most offensive kind of conversation you will have after that. And I feel like instead of leading to a productive state where you will actually end up having, being intimate, you will end up being angry or kurushiana maneno. You will start blaming each other. Okay, that's the point. You will start blaming each other. Because you'll be like, "Hey, we ile siku yenye nilikuja pale nikakufanyia hivi na huku notice. Ama ile siku nilikuguza hivi na..." Instead of having a constructive conversation, instead of having a legit helpful conversation about it, you will start fighting over it. You will start blaming each other, taking faults because that was the wrong place. So 1, don't do it in the bedroom. Don't do it in the bedroom. Look for a neutral place, preferably away from the house. A neutral ground where both of you can be themselves and express their legit feelings about the intimate part of your relationship. Okay? Mimi si Susan. I will not give you advice on how to give it. I will give you advice on how to make it happen. Okay? So, ask your spouse when they are free. Take them out. You don't have to go to Java for coffee. Na hapa msiniingilie. Men, please don't come at me and tell me I told you to take your wives on dates, or wives that I told you to take your husbands on dates and you don't have money. Take them for a walk. Take them for a walk na huko. Na huko kwenye watu hawatasikia hiyo conversation, and then go like, "Babe, what happened? Initially, we used to have sex like how many times per week, how many times per night, and nowadays we do." Talk openly. If you can't talk openly about sex with your partner, you need to have that honest conversation with them, okay? Yeah. So Kenneth, karibu sana, I can see you. Please make sure to comment down below about who should initiate it and how you feel about talking sex with your spouse, okay? Can you for sure tell your spouse how kunisatisfy jana ama juzi? Can you talk about that? And you, as the person who is being told that, can you accept it? How will it make you feel? How will it make you feel if your spouse told you, "Can we go on a coffee date and talk about sex?" Will you even show up? Will you even show up? Me, I'm sure sometimes. Me, I'd be like, "Nini, si useme kwa simu alafu." number two, and I'm answering the question of who should initiate sex. Initiating sex, as we said, it's about words and actions, okay? But words are really hard to come by, and if you're not satisfied with what is going on in your bedroom, then you should talk about it openly, all right? So talking about it openly means meet up, talk about it, and talk about it in a neutral place. Tip number two is pick one topic at a time. Pick one topic at a time. Don't take that date as the time to tell your spouse about all the wrong things that they do that makes you not ask for sex. All the bad things that they do, or the wrong gestures they give. You know, take one topic at a time. If what annoyed you last night was the fact that ni wewe uliomba na ulikuwa unataka kuombwa, then make this date about that. Tell them, babe, do you know how it makes me feel when you ask for it? Huh? It makes me feel wanted. And when you don't ask for it, it makes me feel insecure. Let them know how it makes you feel first. Okay? Before blaming them, let them know how it makes you feel. Okay? Then get their side view, like their viewpoint, and then express how you would want it done. Okay? Tell them, babe, I feel sexy, I feel wanted, I feel desired. God, why am I even doing this talk? I'm answering your question, Shiko. I hope you hear and I hope it helps you. Ebu comment down below. So, ask for it. Okay, so tell them how it makes you feel when they ask for it. Because I am sure it didn't happen from the very beginning. Ati hakuwa anaitisha. Obviously, there is a point they were asking, alafu ikafika mahali ikaisha ndo ka notice. So tell them it makes you feel this kind of way when they ask for it. It makes you want them more. It makes you, express how you feel. Then ask them, how does it make you feel when I ask for it? And then, boom, tell them, babe, mimi ningeomba at least mostly ikuange niwe unaniomba. Inafanyanga ni feel wanted, inafanyanga ni feel sexy, ina boosting self-esteem. Na yeye akwambie, babe, isi kazi ya mwanaume, acha tufanye hivi, let us ask each other. Have an honest conversation, but only one topic. Kama hiyo siku mmeongea kuhusu initiation, don't start telling them, na kwanza venye wewe unitantantan. Venye wewe unitantantan, mi wasibambiki. No, that is not the time to bring that. Okay? Set that for another time. Talking about the quality. Unaona venye huwa ungoji nini ndo alafu nini, so nasikianga vibaya. No. If you talked about initiation, then wait until another time to talk about quality. Don't overcrowd your conversation. It intimidates them. It makes them anxious. It could make the whole point of the conversation get lost. Okay? Solve one issue at a time. So, Ogala says, SMS does that better. Social distancing. For real? Wait, for real? Like, you're asking her, hi babe, jioni ni aje? And she's like, poa sana, tutapatana. And then jioni ukuja na huku kuja na chumvi na alikutuma chumvi. Alafu akose kukupe. And then that's another issue. Anyway, if SMS works for you, I think then go for it. If you can't be able to handle a face-to-face conversation, it's important that you know your partner. What I say here is not universal for everyone. Kila mtu ni kujua mtu wake, sawa? But I'm thinking it applies to most people. That's why I'm talking about it. Anthony says, jambo jambo, jambo jambo to you too, Anthony. Bernard says, intimacy should come automatically. The way you dress, the kissing, and above all, telling your partner. Yeah. So watu acha kujiachilia. Bernard says it comes in the way. Bernard Lekasi says it comes in the way you dress, the kissing, and telling your partner. So the foreplay and how you set the mood and how you talk. I had Susan once say that you should always train yourself. Ladies, I'm not Susan, I'm just quoting her. How she says, like, you should present your food to your husband, like all the time you should be like, hi babe, Here's dinner. Hi babe, nikupikia chai. Hi babe. Like, you should always have a smile. But it's not practical. It's not practical. Sometimes you're dealing with other issues and you're stressed out and you can't always smile. Ama una smile hivyo vyote, yeye akona stress ya kazi, anakuangalia na shanga. Babe, unajua boss wangu karibu nifute. Why are you smiling like that? What's there to smile about? And at that point, you cannot be intimate. There is a lot of practical things that come in play, okay? So Jesse says, anasikiza, santi sana. Vincent says, you explain just wow. Okay, thank you, Vincent. Waithera, karibu sana. Thank you so much for joining in. So we are in tip number 3. And tip number 3 is having the conversation. How to actually have that conversation when it comes to the table. So you have told your husband or you've told your wife that you really would want to talk about your intimate life. And you're at that point and they're like, yeah, now I'm listening. What do you want? What do you do? What do you do? The first thing I feel like you should... Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry, the baby just walked in and I can't keep talking about that topic. But I hope you can keep sharing. Hi Bernard, you're back. Karibu sana. So I will just move on to a more receptive question. I'm really sorry about that. So question number 4. Question number 4 was about finances. That is a topic that is sensitive and I'm not sure I want to talk about it. Somebody was asking, should you reveal to each other about your financial earnings and responsibilities and how to have a conversation about your money in marriage? Whoa, okay. What do you think, guys? What do you think about finances in marriage? Should you talk about money? Bernard amesema peleka mtoto kalale. Ameingia. Ametoka kulala, ameamka. I think I'm making a lot of noise. So, yeah. Okay, so my God, I'm confused. What do we do now? Do we talk about finances and then get back to the intimacy, or can we continue in coded language for the sake of the under 16 in the house? Oh, what happens? Okay. Ogola says kuzoeana is one of the turn-offs that will make one... Wow. Nasikia zizi. Pole. So Ogola says kuzoeana is one of the turn... Sababu kuvalia socks. Okay, I think I have to end this here. Then see you next time. Once the baby is asleep. Bernard says we continue. I don't think I'm comfortable continuing that with the baby around. Okay, let me just read what Ogola says and then we will see what happens after that. I really thought he will sleep through this. So kuzoeana is one of the turn-off that will make one go for decades without that word. So ladies should at least remember what pulled us to them. Having a lady dress like we are in Uganda, even when the mood calls for it, is a complete turn-off. Whoa. Okay, so what do you want us to dress like? The same guys who are saying we should make ourselves look pretty says we should be natural at all times. It's not like we're not natural, beautiful when you're natural, but then I will put yourself in my situation. Like, let me give this immediate example, okay? we're in the mood and I dress up in, you know, my lingerie, and I'm creating the mood, and we're just about to, and then boom, kid walks in. Then what? Because I feel like marriage changes a lot of things, children changes a lot of things, and I am sure the person who asked the question about initiating this is asking because of the factors that affected their intimacy from the word go. Okay, was it just a guy and a chick in a house? It's easy, it's ni rahisi, you just wear each other, you know, t-shirts and just walk around the house without a care of the world. But then once you get married and you have kids, a lot of other things come in play. I'm not saying that we can't dress up sexily with kids in the house, we try, but then we have to remember how to be appropriate in front of them. I'm not trying to make an excuse, I just used an immediate excuse, but that's good advice to our ladies. If you have sorry, I'm still focused in the fact that the kid is around, but please remember to maintain yourselves, dress up for your guy, turns them on. Apparently, if you dress like me with deras and stockings in the head, it turns them off. Bernard, let's continue. I call you on that number. Oh, Gracie, you're single. Bernard is looking for someone there. I think that's a free number for you. Oh, sorry, Bernard says needs your assistance. Okay, we'll talk about that. Anyway, Matthew, usijaribu, utasema huna pesa. Utasema huna pesa, no one will understand you don't have money. Better be a secret. Oh, you're talking. Thank you for continuing with the conversation. Mash, karibu sana, thank you. Bernard says, I love the lingerie, puts me on. Okay. Matthew says, there's no need to discuss about finances in the house because then you can never tell your wife huna pesa because they won't understand. Do you agree? Anyone agrees that it should be a secret? Should money be a secret between a husband and a wife? Ama will you want to know how much your husband is making at the end of the month? And if yes, why? If no, why? As a husband, will you reveal how much you're making to your wife? Okay. Yes, does it make you feel any more part of a relationship because a guy tells you, I make 30,000, I want to save 10,000, I paid the bills for 20,000? How would you want the financial part brought across in your marriage? And just because the baby just fell back asleep, I will talk about the fourth way of initiating conversations about it. How should you tell? So the first one I said, don't surprise them, okay? Plan for it, do it in a neutral place. Oh, plan for it, do it in a neutral place, okay? Then three, pick one topic at a time, and 4, make suggestions, not complaints. I'm so glad that I was able to be done with that. So don't surprise your spouse, do it in a neutral place, pick one topic only per discussion, and finally, make suggestions and not complain. This goes back to what I was saying. Do not go there attacking them, telling them what they don't do, how they fail you in terms of satisfaction. Instead, just go there with suggestions and use assertive language, a language that will boost their ego, a language that will boost their confidence, such that at a later time they're coming back or they're coming to ask for it, it won't be in the fear of na nikikosa kumsatisfy. Let it be in a way that makes them feel, oh, so at least I do one thing right. It's just this one thing that I need to rectify. Are we together? Are we even together right now? Ama watu walihepa venye walisikia mtoto. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So reassure them of what they're doing right. in the bedroom, tell them, babe, I like it when you kiss me this way. I like it when you touch me this way. I don't like, no, I like it. Make suggestions first. I would love it better if you do this and that, okay? And then now bring in the part where they should not do what they do, okay? And be specific. Be very specific. Don't tell her, what is that? You know, atimi sipendi. No, be specific. Sipendi okay. I don't like it when you do this. I don't like it when you do this. I like it when you do this. Be very specific about what you want. All right? Those are my 4 intimacy. I hope sasa hiyo swali nimejibu vizuri. And we can move on to finances. All right? Shaki Jack says, Bernard, sorry, says, I can't agree because when we have a financial issue, ataniambia pesa, unapeleka wapi this much? That depends on the kind of partner you have. And that brings the part where we say, hapa ni kujuana. You know, when you understand the kind of partner, if your partner is there to grow with you, I believe she's the one. Okay, can we begin with the part where we talked about goals and boundaries? I feel like when you're clear about your goals and boundaries, it is where you put together like, babe, by 2020, we are already in 2020. By 2025, I will want us to have our own place. I will want us to have built a house. Okay? And to do that, we have to save this amount of money per time so that when it gets to that point, then we will be able to achieve that. We need to have an emergency fund in case this and that happens. Be open about your goals as a couple. Be open about your plans as a couple. Such that anajua, kama unatengeneza 45,000, na mulisema msave 25,000, 10 year bills, hizo zingine 15 ni za savings. Then, I don't get how she will insist on getting extra money when she knows there's no money. The only reason we ask for money and you feel like we're asking for more than you can give is because we actually even don't know how much you have in the first place. Hatujui, we don't know. Okay? So the fact that you tell me you're working late, the fact that you're telling me you have you have overtime. Okay? You have a weekend, sijui something, and you're being paid a stipend. We automatically assume then you have money. If you're always unavailable for dates because you are at work, then you have money. But if you open up in the very beginning, this is the amount of money I make. Hata kama hutasema specifically ati I make 37,003 bob. No. Be specific. This is the range of money I make, and 20% of it I will want to save. 30% I will want us to do this and that. Once you're open, hakuna venye nitakuitisha, unless I am a very malicious, evil wife. Hakuna venye nitakuitisha pesa huna. I will never ask money that you don't have. Okay? Shleki Jacks, following good advice for girl child and financial issues between couples should be very open for smooth running of the family. Thank you, Jacks. Thank you. That is what I have been trying to say. If you're open about the amount of money you're making, if you're open about your plans, if you're open about your expectations, I never see why at any point money should be an issue. Ukiniambia hii mwezi, babe, nilikuwa nimeomba nani loan nikarudisha, then I know then sina pesa za nywele hiyo time. I won't ask for 5,000, I'll ask for 1,000. I should be that understanding. Dennis says, no, it should not be. As a matter of fact, my money is our money. And her money? Dennis, and her money? Pesa yake? Pesa yake ni yenu. What happens when the wife is earning? What happens? Salim says, money is mainly a concern when one party is the sole provider. If both parties are productive, story ya pesa si hoja sana. Really, Salim, because I feel, but this is just my opinion, I feel like when both partners are working, there is more conflict as opposed to when one partner is working. When one partner is working, they are already aware that they are the sole breadwinners. They are aware that this is the amount of money I'm making and this is how much we spend per month, you know, and maybe one is just responsible for the logistics part, budgeting, saving, expenditure and everything. The other one is bringing in the money and saving and investing and all that. But when you're both of you, unaona, like tunafanya kazi sisi wawili, if I go get my 40,000 and you go get your 90,000, then what? Hatuwezi sema ati let's put 50-50 into our savings account. So my 20k comes there and your 45 comes there. So you have 45 and I have 20, and then what? How do you even solve that, by the way? If you have a working partner, please tell us how you handle your finances. Do you bring all the money together and then anapata stipend, unapata stipend, mnalipa bills? What goes on? That is a part that I would really want to know, because, well, I'm a stay-at-home woman right now. But once I start working, I would want to know how to handle that. Look, hi, and yeah, in as much as you will talk to your partner, I would want to know how other people out there are handling it. Ogola says, money, I have learned my lesson. For me, it's open. I had once tried keeping it my business. I took a loan and kept it to me. Chucked some good sum of money to tithe, and bahati mbaya ikaanguka kwa choo. Chat. I had to cry for the money, asking the toilet to be demolished. Everyone wanted to know how much was in there, and my partner knew I had 0 bob. Story for another day. Are you serious? Are you serious? It was that bad that you couldn't tell her how much you're tithing? Wow. I also agree. I feel finances should be the most open conversation that you should have. Okay. Hi, Francis. Karibu sana. Vincent says, no, you can't tell your wife's salary. Why? Why, Vincent? Why? Juu sasa, ebu imagine, unafanyanga kazi bank, na akona ile assumption ya watu wa bank wanalipangwa 100k, na pengine honestly unalipwa 25, and then every month she asks for money and you're there saying, anaitishanga pesa hakuna. How will she know hakuna kama haiko? Kama hujamwambia. Hi, Benson, unasema tricky. Yeah, it's a tricky, but I also feel like you should talk about it with your spouse. Luke says, I'm locked in and I'm following. Thank you so much, Luke. And Annalisa Vincent, why should you not tell your wife about your salary? I also would want to know that. Okay? And please let me know how you handle your finances. If you're a career woman, will you want your money pulled together and then distributed, or would you want everybody to have a separate account and then you agree, we're only going to save this amount per month, and this is the amount coming from you, this is the amount coming from me? If you're a housewife, do you believe that maybe you're entitled to a stipend? If you're entitled to a stipend, how much? If you're a husband to our housewife, is she entitled to any financial benefits from you as a husband? Okay. If she's entitled, how much? And how do you measure? Should she be the one who is asking you for it? Or are you the one who comes at the end of the month and is like, babe, ndo hii stipend yako ya hii mwezi? Or does she have to wait until she realizes, sina pesa ya chama, let me ask for money? How does that go around? Yeah. So Simiyu says, my wife and I are so transparent to each other. She's so understanding and supportive. Kudos! Big up to her. Say hi to her. So proud of her. Most of us women are not understanding. Okay? We want to have what we want to have without knowing the cost that it's affecting. But I also, 60% I want to blame it on men. I really would want men to be more open about their plans, more open about their expectations financially. Okay? Tell your wife, I will want to have this and that. You know, rude story of boundaries. If you're not here at the beginning, please make sure you watch the first part of this. Talk about your finances. Talk about your goals. Let her know. Alafu, she will support you in it. Trust me, she will support you in it. Tuko hapa kujenga. As opposed to many's opinion, women actually are behind most men's success. So the more open you are to her, the more likely she will give you viable advice, and the more likely she will be willing to support your cause. Okay? Yeah. And I think it's time. Yeah. I think it's time. Clarice, karibu sana, unless you have a question. Oh, somebody was asking, what if your husband refuses to open up about your finances? What if your husband is not willing to talk to you about, maybe because you're not making as much money, or just because he thinks it's his responsibility and his business? What happens then? That's a hard one. That's a really hard one. Wow, that's a hard one. I feel like, let me give what I would do in my case. If my husband was not opening up enough about our finances or about the money we are making, at the moment, that's not an issue. But if it were to happen that they're not talking to you about it, I feel like at that point, you should go to the most confident person in your, in your relationship. Like maybe a sibling he trusts or you both trust, and talk about it. Okay, don't blow it out of proportion. Just talk to a mediator. Let me call that a mediator. Talk to a mediator about the situation. Express how you feel. If you're talking to your best couple, tell them, you know what, I feel like I should be entitled to know how much my husband is making. Or alternatively, I give you viable advice. This is viable. Hold a game night. Invite couples, friends in your house. And this is not something I do. I'm just saying it can work. Hold a couple's, like a game night on a Friday where people are there, and then raise the topic. You realize when there are a lot of people around, it opens ground for discussions of matters that, you see the same way we are talking right now. Trust me, if you are alone and your wife somewhere, you couldn't talk about it. But because we're many, it gives a platform where people can discuss. So the moment you hold those game nights, or, couples kind of meetups, brunch or something, cookouts, start these conversations. At that point, you will hear your husband's view on that, or you'll hear your wife's opinion on that. Utajua anatakanga aje by listening how she's talking around and what she would want and feel. Otherwise, I think I want to end it here today. Leo nasikia kama nimeongea kuhusu serious things and people are just surprised that I can be serious. I can be serious sometimes. Vincent, most of the relationship break up because of money. If you told your wife I'm earning this, he will always ask you money. If you do sema kidogo. If you're making 100K, you tell her you're making 50K. No, I think it's all around the openness. If you're not open about your goals and expectations and your future plans, then that's the only way she will be asking you for money. Lakini ukimwambia babe, by next month nataka kuwa nimenunua ng'ombe, and you tell her your ng'ombe ni 60K, she will help you work towards it. Okay? Yeah, so Mwangi BM says she's watching. Wanyambura says, what if you showed her previously and played a big role in coming down? Can I trust her again? Surely. Like, if you told your wife how much you made and instead of... Baby, reduce volume. Thank you. Sorry. So if you told your wife about your finances and she made them come down, I feel like that then means she's not the person for you. She's not. Then you don't have to tell her about it. But instead of coming outright to her and telling her, hey babe, I make 200K, it's important to first talk about how you would want to be, your stability financially. Sorry about the background noise. Titus says disclosure of salary to either partner depends on the level of trust in a relationship. True. Thank you. Wanyambura, I think Titus just answers your question. If you can't trust your partner, then don't tell them. But I believe trust should be the basis of any relationship. And the only way you can have trust is if you learn to communicate. So I'll give you like communication builds trust. Okay? Trust allows you to understand. And once you understand, you can compromise. Okay? Hey! Whew. Nipigiwe makofi. Nipigiwe makofi. If you feel like your relationship is not based on trust, you can only follow those 4 steps to gain trust. Communicate clearly. Once you communicate, it builds trust. Once you trust, it allows you to understand each other. And once you understand each other, then you can compromise. And I feel like that is a really good thing to end our life with, because compromise is the only way I will know if Beba alisema hana pesa, then we can survive for this month until he gets money. Compromise. I'm really sorry about the background noise. And yeah, bye bye guys. Anything anyone wants to add? Any question you have? Hi Sami, karibu sana. Yeah, I'm sorry you missed this. I was answering questions. I only managed to answer 3 or 4 questions, and you can catch up in the video and make sure to post it. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, again, tafadhali, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we can always have serious, real, realistic, practical conversations. We don't shy away from the real thing. Salim says, housewife anafaa stipend kiasi like 5k ya salon, personal effects na emergency. Okay. The housewives in the house. How do you feel about that 5k? I don't want to say whether it's a lot or it's kidogo. It depends on your needs. But I also want to advise housewives. Housewives, do not be the kind of woman. I'm sorry, I'm not judging. I'm a woman and I'm a housewife too at the moment. So please don't be the kind who gets money, like umepewa pesa ya matumizi, and instead of, okay, how do I want to put, I don't want to put this as a judgment. That's why I'm hesitating to put it out there. But be the kind of woman who works around her budget or within her budget, and instead of extra spending the money they have over the budget, unajua pengine umepewa 2k ufanye shopping ya soko, and then it somehow ilifika 1500 and you are okay. Instead of taking the 500 and doing something extravagant or something unnecessary, how about you have your own car account? Even nowadays we have Mshwari, we have M-Pesa, we have banking, mobile banking. Save up that 500. Sometimes I feel like we burden our men too much by making them think that they are paying us to be their wives, or they are paying us to be the mother to their children, which shouldn't be the case. We shouldn't overwhelm them. So make a point of saving up from the little that you're given, so that at some point you can also do something for your spouse, or you can also do something for your children from your own account. Start establishing independence kidogo kidogo. Plus, online has become something that you can make money from. Don't be extra dependent on your man for money. Honestly, in as much as men want to feel needed, they don't want to feel exploited. They don't want to feel overused. So if you can help with, even if it's posting an ad on your status, and get that extra 100 shillings, it's better than asking for 100 shillings every other day. Try to financially establish yourself by doing tiny things. Be good at your savings. Do online gigs that can give you money. Familiarize yourself with ways. Start a kitchen garden. Sell people to skuma or to nyanya. Start DIYs. Make crafts at home. Sell them online. People are having Insta stores online. Shops online that can sell these things. Just be financially intelligent, or be financially aware. Okay. Butterson is asking, are you married? Yes, I am. Thank you. Sammy says, trust is like virginity. Once lost, you can never get it back. Sorry, I was late. It's okay. You can catch up later. And it's true. But then it can be rebuilt. Like I said, communication builds trust. Trust allows you to understand each other. And once you understand each other, you can be able to compromise. Hi, Enoch, karibu sana. Gracie says, budgeting is important both ways, within or without marriage. True. True. And we ladies, can we please stop being ignorant about finances? Can we stop being too dependent on men to make the important financial decisions in our relationships? Okay? I feel like that is something that really makes us struggle to establish our grounds in terms of the savings, in terms of investments, and in terms of building our future together. Margaret, karibu sana. And unless someone has something else to say. Yeah, I think I'm done for the day. Yeah, so I answered those questions. Went around boundaries, went around intimacy, went around finances, and now it's time for bye-byes. Butason says, good message. Hapo vizuri sana dada mpenzi. I'm a Kenyan. I live in Kenya, so I'm getting from your TZ, you're Tanzanian. So thank you for tuning in. Bye, guys. Thank you for joining. Yes. And I'll try maybe not talk about sex next time, Max. Yeah. Good night. Have a lovely weekend and enjoy yourselves. Okay? Yep. Bye-bye. Hamtaki kuniwish good night? Homose is saying following. Homose, I'm gone. Bye. Sammy, thanks a lot. You're welcome. Karibu sana next time. I'll see you. And please suggest the topics you will want to hear. Kwa sababu zingine nimeona people are not comfortable talking about, but yeah. Margaret says good job. Thank you so much. Thank you. I just try to be real and have real conversations. Peter Kamento says good night. Good night to you too. See you next Friday. Oh no, see you tomorrow. God. See you tomorrow. Yeah. See you tomorrow for our Saturday Cook With Us live. We usually cook on Saturdays with your family. So we don't usually talk about serious issues at that point, but I would really want you to join us tomorrow. Jeffrey Francis, karibu sana, even if you're late. Mandishi says, awesome, thank you so much. Sammy says, night, night. Look, bye-bye. Naingia unatoka. Edwin, I'm sorry that you're late. But you can catch up on my page. I'll make sure to post these. Okay? And make sure to subscribe on the YouTube channel too. Good night. Okay.